In the quiet village of Umuofia, nestled among wide green fields and tall swaying palm trees, lived a woman named Obianuju. She was well loved by everyone, known for her kind heart and wise ways. Obianuju was in her late 40s, with soft brown skin that glowed under the sun and a warm smile that seemed to make every problem feel smaller. To the people of Umuofia, Obianuju was more than a person. She was a gift from the gods. Mothers in the village admired and trusted her the most. When a baby was sick or restless, it was Obianuju they called. She had a special touch that could calm even the fussiest child. She seemed to understand babies in a way no one else did. People said she had been chosen by the ancestors to care for the children of Umuofia. One of Obianuju's most famous acts was her baby blessing ceremony. She claimed it was an old tradition passed down through her family. When a woman gave birth, Obianuju would visit the home at night, carrying a small basket filled with herbs, oils, and other items. The spirits of the night are strongest under the moonlight, she always said, her voice steady and calm. New mothers welcomed her into their homes, trusting her to protect their babies. During the ceremony, Obianuju would whisper prayers over the baby, rub them gently with oil, and chant in a language no one understood. It felt sacred, like a shield of protection was being placed over the child. For years, families believed this ritual kept the children safe from harm. But everything changed one quiet night. It began with the disappearance of a baby boy. His mother had put him to sleep in his crib as usual, but when she woke up the next morning, the crib was empty. The mother's cries echoed through the village as she searched her home and the fields nearby. The villagers gathered to help, combing through the forest and streams, but the baby was nowhere to be found. At first, people thought it was the work of evil spirits. Such things had been spoken of in old stories, though no one had ever witnessed it happen. But soon, another baby disappeared, and then another. By the third disappearance, the village was gripped with fear. Whispers spread quickly. Some said witches had come to steal the babies. Others thought it was a punishment from the gods for unknown sins. Mothers became too scared to let their babies out of their sight, clutching them close at all times. Then, a troubling pattern began to emerge. All the babies who had disappeared had one thing in common. Obianuju had visited their homes just before they vanished. At first, no one dared to voice their suspicions. How could they accuse the woman who had always been their protector? One young mother, Chika, began to feel uneasy. Chika had recently given birth to her first child, a little girl named Ada. When Obianuju came to her house for the baby blessing, something felt different. Obianuju's usually warm smile seemed forced that night. Her touch, while gentle, sent a cold shiver down Chika's spine. Obianuju stayed longer than usual, murmuring prayers and stroking baby Ada's tiny hands. She handed Chika a small bottle of oil and said, "Rub this on her before she sleeps. It will keep her safe." That night, Chika followed the instructions, but a deep unease lingered. As Ada slept, Chika noticed something strange. The baby's breathing was slow and shallow, almost as if she were in a deep, unnatural slumber. A faint, odd smell clung to her skin, one Chika didn't recognize. When Chika woke the next morning, her heart sank. Ada was gone. Her screams filled the village as she tore through her home, searching every corner. The villagers rushed to her side, but they all wore the same terrified expression. Another baby had vanished. Chika's grief turned into determination. She refused to believe her child was lost forever. She began piecing together the clues. The disappearances all followed the same pattern. Obianuju's visits were the last thing the mothers remembered before their babies were taken. That evening, Chika decided to act. She waited outside Obianuju's hut, hiding in the shadows. As the night grew darker, Obianuju stepped out, carrying a familiar basket of herbs. Humming softly, she walked through the village and onto a narrow path that led toward the forest. Chika followed quietly, her heart pounding. She stayed far enough behind to avoid being seen, her bare feet silent against the dirt paths. The forest was dark and eerie, but Chika pressed on, her determination stronger than her fear. Obianuju stopped at a small hidden hut deep in the woods. Chika crouched behind a bush, watching as Obianuju entered. She crept closer and found a crack in the wooden wall. Peering through, she felt her stomach twist in horror. Inside the dimly lit hut, rows of babies lay swaddled in blankets. Their tiny cries filled the air, soft but heartbreaking. Obianuju sat in the center of the room, holding one baby and murmuring softly to it. The warmth in her voice felt chilling now, like a mask hiding something dark. In the corner of the room, Chika spotted piles of money and small packages. The truth hit her like a blow. Obianuju had been stealing the babies and selling them to strangers in faraway places. Tears ran down Chika's face as she backed away from the hut. Her hands trembled, but her mind was clear. She had to save the babies. The next morning, Chika gathered the mothers who had lost their children. She told them everything she had seen. Together, they confronted Obianuju in the village square. At first, Obianuju denied their accusations, her usual smile faltering under their anger. But when the villagers stormed the hut and found the babies, her lies crumbled. The betrayal was too much for the villagers to bear. They dragged Obianuju to the village elders, their voices filled with anger and sorrow. The woman they had once trusted, the woman they had called a blessing, was revealed to be the source of their greatest pain. Obianuju's name was wiped from the village's stories, and her hut was burned to the ground. The babies were returned to their families, but the scars of her betrayal lingered. From that day on, the people of Umuofia vowed to protect one another and never place blind trust in anyone again. The village learned the hard way that sometimes even the kindest smiles can hide the darkest secrets. Thank you for watching. I have noticed that most of you watch my videos, but you have not subscribed. Please, I am pleading with you to please support me to make more videos like these by subscribing to my channel. Remember, subscribing is totally free. You don't pay anything. I don't take your support for granted. Thank you and see you next time.